Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to sharing this workshop in regards to how to generate more leads and close more deals in your business each month with little to no paid advertising. For those of y'all who don't know me, I have a web agency outside of being the founder of My Web Audit. I've been married. I have 2 kids. I love to travel. I've been in this industry for a little over 18 years now, so I need to actually update that. And I recently launched My Web Audit about 8 months ago. In our agency, we worked with some really large companies, as you can see here, a lot of big names. This helps me establish my authority and shows that some of the largest companies here in the US have trusted me, and so should you, but really it's not as cool as you would think. The awesome part is that the audit process and the strategies I'll be showing you on this workshop today not only worked for small mom and pop shops, but they work for some very large companies as well. So on this call, our goal is to be able to show you the benefits of using audits in your business today and how you can generate leads from them. And more importantly, not just how to generate leads, but effectively close the leads so that you can generate more revenue in your business. I learned the hard way spending 1 to 2 hours, actually 3 to 5 hours, 5 to 7 hours. Honestly, I don't know how long we've spent on audit reports. It's astronomical. It is seriously crazy. Can any of you relate with the tools that y'all have used? How long does it take not only to just generate the report, but to potentially take that and position it so that the business owner can actually understand what you're sharing with them? In our case, it is on average taken us 4 to 6 hours before we started using the My Web Audit process. Right? So we've been using website audits in our business since 2014. Realistically, and here's like a little animated GIF of what our audits used to look like. We used to run reports from popular tools. Some of them were mentioned there: Moz, Raven, SEMrush, and then we would cobble all the information together and take what we needed, reword them, because at the end of the day, the client needed to understand what domain authority meant or what click-through rates meant. And then we had to format everything so that it would look good. And this is what took us a ton of time. So at that point, our problems, at least the ones that we thought were our problems and our biggest challenges, were that it was time consuming. It was super expensive to have a whole bunch of tools and then try to figure out how best to use the tools, and then take all the exported information and reposition not only the verbiage, but also the design elements to cohesively put this together. Can any of you relate with these challenges? Now, what's actually more important is the business challenges that we faced, right? So let's talk about real problems that we had, and I'm guessing you can also relate to some of these in your business today. Right? And if you can, let's change them today. So when we were doing these audits, really, we were just trying to figure out, what are the ways that we can help our clients, right? So we knew our core services, but as you know, in this world of technology, there's always a new way or a new strategy or new service or solution to offer. And we try to make sure that we can understand and offer that to our customers. So we really didn't know all the ways we could help them. So when we went through all these different audit tools, we didn't really know what to include, what not. When we took them through processes like discovery, where they would reach out to us and say, hey, we'd love to work with you, we'd actually take them through discovery sessions, which are consultation sessions to help understand their business. So we would know what questions to ask them, like, what are your goals? Who are your competition? But we didn't really know what to give them back. When we got calls, we knew audits were really important, but we didn't know how to use them to start the sales process in our business. One of the biggest challenges is that I had so much information, knowledge, and expertise, but I didn't know how to prove my value to a prospect when they reached out to us. And most importantly, we didn't know how to present it, right? So initially, we would just take all the reports, try to reword some of them, didn't know which areas we could get better return on investment on by covering, and which ones completely confuse the client. And so we didn't know how to present it. Sometimes it was a report. Sometimes we would copy and paste things into PowerPoint. Sometimes we would just print out something and take it in to a meeting. So these were some of the big business challenges that we had as we tried to utilize audits in our business. So after doing this for years, we discovered 3 key things that transformed using audits in our business that helped us to deliver more value, generate more leads, and close more deals, right? So the first thing was we had to measure what matters. What do I mean by this? Well, let's just say, for example, if you're dealing with a small business in a small town, SEO, Facebook, or PPC may not be the biggest things that matter to them. Why? Because they're in a small town where the competition is not existent at all. So focusing heavily on things like Facebook when brand awareness is not a challenge for them, or SEO when they already have visibility, is not what you may want to measure or discuss with them. You may want to just focus on how their website design could look better to better position their business, make it more user-friendly, build more trust, things like that, right? So we learned along the way that there are a few things that really matter to a business owner, and that's what we needed to focus on and measure. We also realized that oftentimes we were giving them information overload. So we needed to prioritize the actual advice that could be implemented and give them results, right? So let me give you a heads up on ROI. ROI is not always measured in terms of money. Most oftentimes it is, but it could be in time saved, right? So when you speak to a prospect, you want to make sure that you talk to them not only about potentially what revenue you could bring to their business, but ultimately we wanted to talk to them about how our solution could help save them time, how it could bring them less stress because their site wouldn't get hacked, how they would have a peace of mind to know that they have a professional that could support them, that an update to their website potentially wouldn't break everything. So yeah, we love to track ROI. We want to track ROI. We even have an amazing tool that we've built through this process of learning what are the challenges of positioning our services and adding value. So we'll cover that a little bit later. But the important thing is before you prioritize, before you measure what matters, you want to try to identify what are the biggest challenges for the prospect you're speaking to, and then address them accordingly. So when you do present the information, it's understood and it's valued because it's relevant. Okay, so I love sharing this, right? Running audits years ago felt like this. Those of y'all who have a family, you know how holiday photos go. And now we roll like this. I am looking to deliver a ton of value on this workshop. I just wanted to let you know, obviously, that we do have an offer at the end. You know, wait till the end and we'll show you how we've taken audits from 4 to 5 hours down to less than 5 minutes. Okay. So what we like to start with when we speak to prospects is the leaky bucket theory. Most times when we used to do audits or when clients reached out to us years ago, the first thing that we would tell them is, yeah, you know, so this is how we can redesign your website. And we've completely transformed that mindset, both for our business as well as for our clients and prospects, by telling them that, you know, trying to increase sales simply by driving more traffic to a website because they want Facebook marketing, they want a complete redesign, is not going to help, because poor customer conversion rates are likely to be the problem for most companies, right? That could be poor design, slow site, lack of copy, etc. So the whole point we tell them is that their website's like a bucket full of holes. No matter how much traffic you pour into it, it's still going to leak. So we actually start and we take the audit process and position it from the point of view of saying, let us look at your website from a holistic point of view and identify what's wrong. Maybe you need a whole redesign. Maybe your site looks good, but you really need to optimize a few areas before you send traffic over. And so we take this approach before we try to sell them on our core services. So when we come to a client or a prospect and we have the discussion of, here's what we've audited, and we talk about things like measure what matters in terms that they easily understand, we speak about 4 core areas in our agency. That's web design and user experience. Web design and user experience elements, those specifically focus on areas that are around design, copy, user experience like the menu, is it responsive or not, things like that. When we look at conversion optimization, we're speaking now about things that establish them as an expert, build trust, awards, accolades, testimonials, reviews. Do they have their phone number on the top? Do they have a lead capture form? Things like that. When it comes to performance and security, we talk about page load time. We talk about things like, do they have an SSL certificate installed? And by the way, these are things we've been doing for years. Now, Google has already started rolling out a new update for their SEO saying that page performance and not having SSL on your site will hinder your rankings, right? Or not having a responsive site will hinder your rankings. And so these are things we've followed as best practices before, but are becoming industry standards now. And then when it comes to search engine optimization, I know this can be cryptic for web designers as well as clients, right? So we look at the key things that matter here, things like making sure that there's a title tag, there's meta tags. Oftentimes, we've realized that sometimes sites have a fairly good backlink profile just because of press releases and partnerships they've built along the way, but they haven't even put in the effective keyword for their service or product in their title tag on their homepage. And just making a change like that can significantly bump up their site in the rankings. And then we have other agencies now that use our platform, as well as ourselves, that add other areas like Facebook or Google AdWords to our audits. We have several different people that also implement things like usability for 508 compliance, I believe. Okay, and each one of these categories can be a service offering. So don't feel like you need to cover all of them or overwhelm them. Our goal is here to just let you know, measure areas that matter. Don't give them 100 different points. Cover the ones that are really important to them, and then get your foot in the door and get the conversation going. So I am now going to cover the benefits of potentially utilizing website audits in your agency. The biggest one is standing out from the competition, but I'll be covering several different points. Okay, so we live in a world where everyone is asking for something. Right? We tell people, hey, look, we can help redesign your website. We tell them, hey, we can help you generate more traffic. Another one tells them, look, we can help you convert 2 times or 3 times the amount of leads. Everyone is bombarding prospects and potentially your customers with messaging like this. The whole point we like to do is stand out by delivering value. Website audits, they allow you to deliver a tremendous amount of value. You're able to give the customer or prospect information about what their needs and challenges are by personalizing your services to them. So instead of saying something like, hey, you need responsive design, or you need SEO, you can personally say, hey, look, because your site does not load like this, or because your website does not have your keyword or does not have local schema, and here's why and how your site is not ranking, which leads to less traffic and less leads and customers. So instead of just telling them about your services, you're able to personalize your services to their challenges. By doing a website audit ahead of time or for an existing customer, you're able to identify challenges and opportunities, whether they're through a manual review or through automated testing, that you generally wouldn't have been able to identify. This is great when you're speaking to a prospect, because when you deliver these reports that offer them actionable advice on challenges and opportunities they haven't even considered, it establishes you as someone they can trust because you've delivered value, you're not trying to sell. It gives them confidence in your business because they see you've done your own homework and you've brought actionable advice to the table. So what you want to do is, or what we do is identify the challenges, and then we tell the story of how our agency can solve their problems. One of the amazing things that we like about the way we do the audits in our application and how it delivers it is it gives us a way to prioritize. So for example, adding a fave icon, that's not going to do much to your business unless branding is tremendously important. But potentially having a unique selling proposition, adding awards, accolades, testimonials, reviews to your homepage, that will. So by creating an audit, we're able to not only prioritize based off of effectiveness and importance, but on impact. And that way, if a prospect or customer says something to the effect of, well, we only have, in our case, $3,000 or $4,000 at this point, we know that a website redesign may cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. And so what we do is we get our foot in the door and we're able to prioritize, make the changes that they need, deliver value, and then build an ongoing relationship. Over time, just by delivering value in these actionable points, it helps position you as a subject area expert. And by doing those things, it helps you stand out from the competition. So how many of y'all get onto a sales call or a call with a prospect and then just try to sell? Or how many of you are willing to share your advice in regards to what you do on a prospect call? Would you mind giving me, would anyone be brave enough to get on or maybe just comment on that? All right, so Victor says, I ask a bunch of questions about their goals are, what a client's worth to them, and how they're currently getting clients. Awesome, Victor. So those are some of the high value questions that we ask. Jimmy says he has kids going around, okay. Do they have a budget? Okay, great. Those are great qualifier questions. So Victor and Jamie, both of y'all, we do both of the points that y'all have outlined, and I'll kind of cover where and how we do that, right? So on our next slide, I'll be covering specifically the process we use. So we've created a framework over the years that's called the GIVE method. All right. The GIVE method is a 4-step method that we use in our agency that has dramatically increased the number of sales we close. Okay. G is for generosity. So we start by giving the prospect something of value, right? In this case, it's the website audit. And then we offer them, and this is both for lead gen as well as for closing deals. We offer them an audit, and then we give them a strategy session to cover the audit. I is for information. So our prospects are facing an expensive problem when they reach out to us. Every day, they're sitting on these problems that we've identified, and it's costing them a lot of money. So when we give them, or when we present the information to solve their problem and present it as an opportunity for them to make more money or save more money by letting us solve that problem for them, we then deliver value. So the value, when we focus on delivering value and not just trying to make the sale, right? So most times, at least a few years ago, when someone would reach out to us as a prospect looking to find someone, we knew that they were going to be speaking to other people, but we did not try to offer value. Instead, what we tried to do is separate ourselves from the competition. That was the biggest mistake we made, right? So we'd say something like, well, we have 15 years in business. We have a A+ business rating. Check out our portfolio. We do great work. And the funny thing is, they contacted us because for the most part, they found out most of these things and they figured we are one of the people that potentially they wanted to work with, right? But instead of delivering value and showing them how we separate ourselves from the point of giving them value and not selling, we tried hard to sell. So instead, now we offer value, right? So for example, think about this. You probably didn't trust the last automotive salesperson you worked with, but you probably loved the car that you test drove, right? Trust me when I say this. Deliver value instead of pushing for a sale. The sale will work itself out when you deliver the value and the prospect is able to perceive that as value delivered. So when we get on a prospect call, we educate the prospect based off of the valuable information that we've ascertained from the audits. We educate them about the problem they have and the opportunity that they can leverage in their business by solving these problems. These steps build trust. So for the first 20 minutes or so, we talk about, we generously offer the audit information, we educate them, we deliver the value. And then in the last probably 5 to 7 minutes, Victor, that's kind of when we say, okay, look, At the end of the day, at this point, you kind of know that we know what it takes to build a successful web presence for you. We know what it takes to potentially help you generate more traffic and be more successful, generate more revenue. But we have a few questions for you. And that's where we talk to them about potentially, how many leads they get. We ask them questions like, what are the biggest challenges they're facing with their existing website? What are their desired goals and outcomes? And then we actually anchor that information that they give us there to potentially tell them, well, look, based off of this, we really would like to take you into discovery. Or if you'd like an estimate, we can only give you a ballpark estimate, but based off of the information they've shared with us, our analysis of the website, we now have enough information to take them to the next step. Okay, so, and I'll kind of cover a little bit more about how to charge on value and how to anchor your prices based off of the results that you deliver to a prospect or a client. But for now, I'm just going to pivot over to a few ways that you could be generating leads using audits in your web agency today. Okay, so the first one is networking events. When you go out to a networking event, make sure the people that you reach out to, don't just tell people, hey, we offer website services, or we do SEO, or we can redesign your site, et cetera, et cetera. Tell them, hey, look, we'd love to do a complimentary website audit that will give you, at least a dozen actionable points on how you can double your leads, right? So, and doubling a website lead, number of leads, or the doubling of website conversions isn't very hard if you follow the steps that we've outlined in our audits, and if you know what you're doing, obviously, right? Another way is to put an embeddable website opt-in form on your site. You could do this through a hello bar, you could do this through a welcome mat, you could do this through a landing page. And, for example, we have Victor on this call, and I know Victor got in and tried our app, and then he started building new strategies around Facebook ads and AdWords and all that type of stuff. At the end of the day, that's great. That's a great way to build a scalable solution that you can repeat on a monthly basis and know what the results are going to be at the end. You're going to know how much money you're going to invest, your conversion rates, and how much business you're going to close. But for those of you that are looking to get started without spending any money and try to generate leads this month, networking events, embeddable website opt-in form on your site, outreach with emphasis on education, right? That means potentially, sending out emails to organizations that are advertising already in your neighborhood. Reaching out, calling companies that that are large but have a poor web presence, and telling them something to the effect of, hey, we're a local business, and as a promotion for other local businesses, we're giving you a website audit. There is no sales attached to this. It's all about educating local businesses on how they can grow their website, grow their business through website and digital marketing, right? When you go the education route, you deliver value, people are less hesitant to give you their information. And then obviously, if you offer something of value, most people that value your services, that you want to be your customers, will reach back out. Okay, social media campaigns and contests. This is a great way to reach out to people. Potentially, let's just say you don't want to run like some sort of Facebook campaign. Join a few LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups where your ideal audience or your ideal target customer is hanging out, and deliver value by providing comments and answering questions. And then after a week or two, just drop a little note, and I'd be happy to share a template in our app, in our web application. We actually have several different templates, from emails to potentially messages you can drop in LinkedIn and Facebook groups. And it could be as simple as, hey, I'm offering 10 audits. They're usually worth $399. Please comment below if you're interested. I will be offering you at least 10 actionable ways to generate more leads, and increase your conversion on your website. Done. It's really as simple as that. Then obviously, if you're looking at doing something where you want to build a steady process and you have some revenue, go ahead and invest that in paid ads, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Google AdWords, to offer them in essence either a free website audit, or you could charge them a nominal amount to get them in the door. right? We have several large agencies. We haven't done this yet, but we have several large agencies in our program that use our application to potentially run workshops, right? So they run an ad that says, hey, we're running a website workshop. Brandy, one of our users, does that. So does Rob and a few others, where in essence, they bring in anywhere from 10 to 20 different business owners. They come in, they talk to them about the importance of different things. They give them all their personalized website audits, and then they set up a consultation for, in essence, an interaction that could lead to a digital marketing or a redesign project for them. Okay, so those are a few ways for you to be generating leads. Now we'll cover a few ways to actually generate revenue. Okay, so for us, ultimately, the key areas that audits have helped us transform and grow our revenue on has been by closing deals faster. When we deal with the prospect and we're able to position value upfront, it makes closing the deal faster. There usually isn't a, hey, can we have a follow-up call to discuss this? Because once we go through this, they understand we know what we're talking about, and they know potentially if they want to work with us or not, right? So we're able to close deals faster and better. In many cases, we've had some amazing stories. I know, Jamie, we've talked before about the fact of how if a client doesn't have $5,000 or $10,000, you see what you can to get them in the door and upsell them later, right? So this presents a great opportunity to tell them, hey, look, we found 20 or 30 problems with your website. Realistically, for $3,000, we're not able to redesign everything, or for $2,000, we're not able to fix everything. But here are the 3 or 4 priority items, and we can solve those. Which ones would you like us to tackle first? And that gets you in the door. It allows you to build a reputation, a relationship, establish trust, and then be able to, over time, sell them on other services or a complete redesign. I know a lot of web agency owners have heard this term productized service, but don't actually implement it in their agency, and they should be. A productized service, in essence, is just a service that you can execute without a lot of time, that doesn't deviate very much, that causes problems, right? So a productized service, in essence, would be something like building local citations. You know that they need to fill out a form. You need to submit that to Moz Local or Yext or whatever that may be. For us, website audits are a productized service. Whenever we reach out to clients that that have worked with us for a few years, and we know that they're in need of redesign, we either offer it for free or we tell them, hey, look, we have a special deal. We usually would charge $399 for this. We're doing it for $199. And then we also have a lead magnet where we offer this as a $349. Sorry, not a lead magnet, but a tripwire where we offer this for $349, right? And the productized service allows us to, in essence, delegate this to someone on our team or a VA, where really they know within 10 minutes what they need to do to execute and be able to deliver that value and get the person in the door before you sell them your core offering, which could be, website redesign, digital marketing, consulting, whatever that may be. Another area that's tremendously grown in our business has been monthly care plans and retainers. And website audits have tremendously helped us with that by allowing us to run audits to help us identify security vulnerabilities, outdated plugins, because we use WordPress, and identify many different security and performance areas that we could potentially be solving for business owners. And oftentimes, it's going to cost them $8,000, $9,000 to solve all of these things. And so, or it may cost them $3,000 or $4,000. So the client just gets onto a care plan for $329 a month, and we're able to potentially allocate 2 or 3 hours a month to solve that. Or sometimes we will get prospects who come in and say something to the effect of, hey, well, look, can I just allocate $2,000 to solve these problems? And then we tell them, yep, just allocate $500 a month or $2,000 a month, depending on how big or how many problems they have. And we're able to potentially tackle these items on a monthly basis. And then it's a great way also for us to cross-sell services, right? So a lot of companies, when we start working with them, they're just looking for web design. But a month or two later, they might say, hey, we heard Google is now asking for page performance, right? And so then we're able to cross-sell them by offering an audit that shows the areas that they're lacking in that. Or when we need to talk to them about search engine optimization, this is a great way to run an audit and only show them areas in search engine optimization focused points to help them understand, what our services can do for them and what their challenges are with their current site. Okay, so I'll pause for just a minute and see if any of y'all have any questions. I'll take a couple of minutes and kind of cover a little bit about our interaction workflow and how we use audits both for inbound and outbound real quick, and then we'll continue on into 6 ways to close more deals, generate more leads in your business, hopefully in the next 14 days. Does anyone have any questions I can answer so far? Okay, give me a second. Sandy says, I'm curious about implementation of this with the client type that's not motivated by traditional revenue model, i.e. a nonprofit. Okay. Think I could focus on conversion, donations given. For sure, Sandy. Victor, yeah, +1 for nonprofits. Yes, you can definitely use this for donor awareness. You can definitely use this for brand awareness. There's several different areas you could use this for. And we actually have several nonprofits that are part of our organization, and I'll specifically cover that as well. Okay. So I appreciate those of y'all that are responding in here. I'll kind of give you my 2 cents on that. So Sandy, in essence, when we're speaking to nonprofits, here's what we do. We talk to them specifically about the web design, and then we talk to them about user experience, right? So potentially, if they want to tell their story, for example, the Dream Center here in Arizona, they have people like John McCain, right? Senator John McCain speaking for them, but they have a terrible site. It wasn't even responsive up till a year ago. And bottom line is, if most nonprofits, what they're trying to do are two main things, in my opinion. The first one is they're trying to tell their story so that they can, generate awareness and potentially get volunteers. Then they have the donor side of things, where they're trying to tell their story and generate more revenue from donors to continue to grow the organization and make an impact, right? So when they have a poor website, poor user experience, their messaging and imagery don't tell their story, those are all different areas that potentially are areas of impact. I'm actually going to take a minute real quick, and I'm going to transition over to our application, and I'm just going to pull up a quick report just so you can see a few areas that we cover and how they can, how they're relevant irrespective of the industry, whether it's non-profit or for-profit, right? So when we take a look at user experience, the first one here, right? So we tell them, like, here's a simple stat, right? 94% of people cited web design as a reason they mistrusted or rejected a website. This same stat could apply in a slightly different context to a nonprofit, right? If the nonprofit doesn't effectively communicate their message, they have poor website poor design, it's not responsive, and it's a pain to use on a mobile device or tablet. Those are challenges and problems. So what we do is we cover things like, do you have a proper professional design that reflects your organization? You have branding. Is there brand awareness implemented? Relevant headlines and copy. For example, with a nonprofit, like we work with family health planning, are you able to communicate the message effectively to your audience? Is there a user-friendly navigation? Is it mobile friendly? Are you using relevant images and videos? And I'd argue for nonprofits, this is even more important, right? So like if we were to pull up Charity Water, for example, a company that I know is growing rapidly, right? So here you can see professional design, great images, they're telling their story, effective call to actions, right? So when we move into conversion optimization, the interesting thing, and again, these stats are for-profit businesses, but they apply heavily to nonprofits as well, is the fact that 97% of visitor websites sorry, 97, companies typically spend $92 to bring customers to their site, but only $1 to convert them. We actually had a conversation in one of our web agency mastermind groups yesterday about the importance of good design and portfolios. And this is the same concept there, right? Like you're investing time in paid ads, you're investing time in business cards and brochures and going to meetings and doing lead gen. But if your website doesn't convert, you're wasting all the time and effort and resources. So when you come into nonprofits, when you talk about a unique selling proposition, this might be not a sales point of view, but it might be, what's the story of your nonprofit, right? What are the trust factors? Like our nonprofit has impacted 10,000 families in Phoenix, right? Or have brought healthcare, or have saved these many children. Reviews, or in this case, instead of building trust by reviews, you can have stories from people that have been impacted to generate that volunteer base or generate revenue. Okay, and same thing with primary call to actions. When we talk about things like fundraise, donate, give monthly, these are call to actions, right? And so our application helps you measure those areas effectively. So Sandy, I hope that gives you some context. Obviously, there's dozens of other points as well. You know what? I am so sorry. I think I might have shared it off the wrong screen. So here's the point in regards to $92 are used to bring customers to a site, but only $1 is used to convert them. Right? You have things like selling proposition, trust factors, testimonials and reviews, call to actions. Same thing when you talk about user experience, right? You can measure things like web design, professional branding, relevant headlines and copy, and user navigation, amongst many other things. Okay? I will close that down. All right. Okay. And Dina says, will this be recorded? Yes, Dina, this will be recorded, and we will be providing you that link in a couple of days. All right. So Sandy, does that help you? Okay. You said this is awesome. Thanks so much. I've seen the post by Victor and others. Okay, great. All right. So if you have any other questions, obviously, please reach out. Our goal here is, again, this might not be the tool for you, or it may completely transform your business. We hope it's the latter, but the goal here is to help educate you and help give you ideas and deliver value that you can apply and use in your, in your business today, in your business this week, to start generating more leads, closing more deals. All right. So when we take a look at inbound leads that come into our application, that come into our come in from our website or through a call. In essence, any inbound leads that come in, usually we have a brief call if they call us, right? And we just say, hey, thanks for your time. Victor, unlike you, we take a lot of calls, buddy, just because we know the importance of, in our business at least, we know the importance of speaking to someone. Now, obviously, we qualify them quickly, right? So we say, hey, look, if you're looking for something, usually our services start at this, and if you're interested, I'll send you an email, fill out our intake form, and then we'll be able to have a call with you to get potentially to the bottom of what your needs, goals are, and see if we're a good fit, right? So what we do is once a caller comes in, we qualify them, and then we send them our intake form. If an email comes in, we say, thank you for reaching out. We send them an email to our qualification form. They fill that information. If they're good, we run the audit. And then if the lead came in saying we just wanted the audit report, we would send them the report. Otherwise, we would schedule the consultation call. Then we would review the audit. We would cover our ROI report, which I'll cover here in just a minute. And then we'd go into next steps, which if it's a simple site, we know, hey, it's going to cost $2,000 or $3,000 to build a simple 5-page site, or we know that this is a $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 project. We then take them into the go wide, go deep discovery sessions. Okay. Yes, and Steve, I will be showing you examples of all the reports right after this slide. Okay. So then on the outbound lead side of things, we have cold calls. So cold calls and cold emails and social media messaging that potentially are positioned from the point of delivering value and not selling our services. Okay. Again, everything that we do for the most part now we've realized is much more effective when we deliver value. Victor, I saw that you posted, a great video resource, and I know that you position everything from the value point of view as well, and it's worked for you, and it's worked for so many, for dozens of other agency owners who've taken that position versus trying to just sell. Too many people are bombarded with offers anymore, right? So deliver value, stand out, and then you'll close more deals. So once we are done with the outbound communication, whether it's call or an email, we do a follow-up sequence, because not everyone says, oh yeah, we'd love that audit, right? Because people are busy, emails go into inboxes. And so we do at least 5 follow-ups if needed. We then run the audit once they reach out. We do a follow-up sequence, schedule a consultation call. On that call, again, it's just like a prospect call. We do not sell. We just give them a whole bunch of value, which is what we promised them. And then if they're a right fit, they usually like, my web designer didn't bring any of this up. This came at a great time. We'd love to talk about, how we could work with you. And then we talk about the next steps again. Okay. A couple of tips here. Prospect wisely and qualify wisely. All right. I wish someone had told me this early on in my career. Do not prospect people that cannot afford your services. So if you have a barber and a home remodeler that you could reach out to the home remodeler, because he's charging $5,000 to $50,000 for his services versus $15 to $20 for a barber services, right? Make sure you're intentional with your follow-up. Don't stop unless you get a no. You obviously don't want to be a pain and spam them, but if you're delivering value, follow up because people are busy. Make sure to build a relationship, right? You can build trust over time with the more interactions and touch points you have. We're not heavy on automation because we're heavy on relationships, and we found it really hard to automate authentic messaging. We found it very hard to reflect, in essence, the personality that we have when we set up calls and when we speak to people, when we send them personal emails in a way that can be authentic through active campaign. And so for many purposes, we have automation, like obviously this workshop emails would come out if people reach out to us on our website. We have response emails, but for the most part, we don't automate a lot of what we do just because we reach out to high value customers, and we reach out to prospects understanding they're going to be high value customers. And so we only need 1 or 2 of them a month to maintain 10 to 20% growth a year easily. All right. The golden rule: educate and deliver value before you sell. It's much more effective that way. And for those of y'all who really want to scale up lead gen and want to optimize your sales processes, make sure that you measure some key performance indicators. For us, those are lead sources. Are they coming from our website? Are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming from LinkedIn? Which area is giving us the most volume? And it's not just so much volume, it's which ones are high quality, high value, and which ones convert best. Yes. Victor is already putting UTM parameters on his links, and that's so important, Victor. Honestly, we hadn't done that till a month ago, right? And you just started a week ago, and you're already doing this, so that's so important. Okay. Now, look, I've given you a bunch of ideas and strategies on how you can potentially leverage website audits in your business. I would recommend that, today's Thursday, between now and early next week. I highly recommend now, between today and tomorrow, email your existing and past clients and offer them a website audit. A lot of people get worried when we say email your existing clients because they're like, well, I don't want them to complain and say, well, shouldn't you have done this when you redesigned our site, right? The bottom line is web standards change all the time, okay? So make sure that you communicate that if they reach out and say, well, oh, why don't I have SSL, or why don't I have my on-page optimization done? Well, you didn't pay us for that, right? You paid us for X. And so find ways. You should have built authority. You should have established trust with your existing clients. And the cool thing is, if you feel like there are some glaring issues, maybe you address that, and then, or don't, address that for them, or you reach out to them and say, hey, this is something we're going to take care of with the retainer you're on next month, right? But these other things we highly recommend having a discussion about. Okay, so post on social media to your groups, on your Facebook pages, in the groups that you're in, on LinkedIn, etc., and offer that offer. Put a lead generation website widget. If you use My Web Audit, you have that and the landing copy given to you. Reach out to your professional network. Right. This is saying, connect to your clients and just, tell them, hey, look, we're running a special where we're doing website audits, not only for you, but we'll be happy to do that for any of the other business partners you'd like to send our way. Right. So you're giving something of value, you're not selling. If you are great at cold calling, I know Jamie had a course on cold calling. Reach out to Jamie. If and those of y'all that are interested, maybe post in here and Jamie can share his course with you. But you again, when you reach out, whether it's email or calls, offer value and pick the right people, right? And with My Web Audit, we have a call script that has given us 25 to 35% conversion rate to at least get the contact information, and it goes something like this: hey, John, my name's Cliff. A local web agency here in Phoenix, Arizona. We're running a special educational offer where we want to deliver value to other local businesses in the area. We're willing to analyze your site and give you a dozen or two actionable items that you can pass on to your web designer to potentially help your website convert and work better. And oftentimes it's a secretary, assistant, or someone else in the front desk answering, and they're like, well, we already have a web designer. And that's when we say something to the effect of, well, no problem. We're not looking to sell you anything. We're giving you something of value. And as long as you can tell me who handles your marketing or your website, I'd be happy to send it their way. And then usually they send you over. They'll say something like, hey, Jason is the person who handles our website and marketing. His email is this, or his phone number is this. And so then what we do is we send an email and say, hey, Jason, I just spoke to X, and they recommend that I reach out to you about this offer. Right. And now you have the information. You can either send them the audit with the link, or you can send them an email with a few points and then offer them the full audit with a consultation. And I don't use the word consultation with them then. I just say a strategy call. Right? Because when you say strategy call, it's less sales. Consultation is often associated with sales. Okay? And then use it with the current leads in your pipeline. I mean, someone may call you and ask you about your services or reach out from your website. Try our process where you cover audit points with them and give them value and personalize your services to their needs instead of trying to sell them, and see how that works versus the other way around. And assuredly, you will do much better. You will close much better. All right. So here's our website. One of the things that I wanted to show you here is here's what, for the most part, a high converting website looks like, right? You have a clean menu system, contact form, phone number, trust factors, the results of what it looks like to work with you. But with all of this great stuff, and here's our, our line for our website audit request. But with all of this, how many of you anchor your services to the value your services deliver, right? So in simple terms, if you're working with a company and you know that you can bring them $500,000 of revenue because of the services you're doing for them, whether that's e-commerce or updating their site so that they can generate more leads, how many of y'all are charging on value? If I could just get a yes or no, how many of y'all are actually charging on value for the services you deliver? Okay, great. Steve, you're charging a value, great. Chris starting to, Victor, yes, okay, awesome. Okay, so those of y'all who are, that's great. Those of y'all who aren't, maybe those who didn't respond, you should be, okay? So simply put, you close a sale when a prospect's perceived value of your offering is higher than their investment. That's a simple truth. When you deliver more value than what they're paying you for, you're able to make a sale. Okay? So when you bring return on investment or ROI into the picture, the conversation can be moved from here's what we do to how we can help. Most prospects call us and they're trying to tell us, hey, we need new site, we need SEO. They start focusing on, the service. Instead, when we focus on the numbers, we're able to charge on value. And a simple scenario here would be this, where, we ask them, hey, so Victor, this is where I was talking about what we do at the end of a call, right? Oftentimes, business owners don't know this, but when they do, it's like hitting a gold mine, right? Because we've kind of plugged this in and then we share our screen and then we show them the numbers, right? So I'm going to kind of walk you real quick through this, right? Where we ask them, what's your monthly traffic? What's your monthly leads? What are your qualified leads from the leads that you get? What's your closing rate? And then what's your customer lifetime value? So this is a scenario here for a home remodeling company, right? Getting 1,000 people to a site, not a big deal. 50 leads here, that's 5%, that's kind of high, okay? But qualified leads, this might be sort of high. Okay, closing rate, 35% standard. Customer lifetime value, this is super low. For home remodel company, most of the time it's over $10,000, right? So now by positioning, just getting these 5 bits of information, we're able to tell them the conversion rate. And if in this case it's under 4, you know that you have a good area of improvement for, or if it's at 4 and they have a terrible site, you can easily improve it as well. And you're able to get some numbers here. But bottom line is, in this scenario, they're making $65,000, give or take, gross profit per month. So what we tell them now is, on a monthly basis, if we can do a redesign or implement our services just to increase their value by 1%, their conversion rate by 1%, that's adding $13,000 to their bottom line. If we can increase their traffic by 30%, for those of y'all who offer SEO or paid traffic, that that's not a big deal, 30%. You can increase it by 19,000. You combine this together, that's 36,000. When you look at it as the annual impact for their bottom line from an annual basis, now you're talking about potentially delivering $400,000 to $500,000. The question of charging $5,000 or $10,000 and then charging $2,000 or $3,000 for marketing retainer goes out the window when you're able to, or most oftentimes goes out the window when you're able to anchor your services to actual metrics. Okay, but remember what I said before, that ROI is not always measured in essence in monetary factors like how much revenue you can generate or how many leads you can get, because potentially your site could save them time, less stress, automate certain things. In the case of a nonprofit, it could help them tell their story better or more impactfully, so they could get more volunteers, which does probably have a financial impact, or more donors, which ultimately will have a financial impact as well. So any questions about the return on investment? We're almost wrapping up here. I just want to make sure that if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them about the return on investment area. Oh, and Victor, yeah, you say here, you mentioned that there was someone that y'all spoke to, okay, that were paying $150,000 devs. Exactly. That's insane, right? And again, it just depends on what the perceived values and what the actual value you're delivering is, right? And it's really important to be able to communicate that effectively. Okay, so I'm just going to take a minute, and if you want to learn how to create high value audits without spending hours and tons of money, I'll be showing you how best to do that in just a minute. All right. So what I want to show you real quick is, here's, our application generates audits in PDF, PowerPoint, Google Docs, and a website report, right? So when you take a look at the PDF, I'm going to show you a couple of different reports real quick. Here is the website audit report. Okay, so if you're looking at a PDF, it opens up like this. It gives them an assessment. We have an audit forward that's crafted by an amazing content writer to effectively position how to consume this audit. And then we go into the details, right? So in here, you're looking at 20, and in this case, we've also done technical audit, but you're looking at 20, 30 pages. And this is something we usually don't send out, right? If someone pays for an audit, this is what they actually get. Okay, what we do offer oftentimes through our sales process is the presentation view, and I'm actually going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so take a look at the screen. When you generate a report that takes about 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes if you're just getting started, we give you a PowerPoint style report like this, okay, that covers the different areas. In the event the person you're speaking to wants to go into the details, you can actually change the view, okay? So we have a couple of different views. We have a top priority view that literally tells them the areas based off of the impact that you could be solving for them. Or, and in this case, these are at 100%, so there's no other topic areas, but otherwise it would show them. Or you could go into the detailed results view, where here you have different areas and you go through it, right? So when you come to performance and security, for example, we connect with the Google API. So we have information about the desktop speed, the mobile speed, and actually these are actual results for our site. Okay, because we're big believers in eating our own dog food. Okay, our reports also allow you to add testimonials, effective call to actions, timers. You have the ability to even add pixels. So if you're doing ads on Facebook or Google, you can retarget people who view your audits, and you can add drift or other chat applications through our settings as well, right? So all you have to do is go into the settings here, and here's an example where you can turn it on and you can add the scripts that you want in our application. We have the website audit widget, which really, we have landing copy and templates. It literally, all you have to do is click edit or add a new one, pick a few settings, and you're able to add this to your site in minutes, right? So we have things like identifying potentially, your opt-in fields that you want. You can add your own custom styling. You have things, and if you want to change the widget layout, so let's just say you weren't looking for a hello bar, but you wanted to do a light box, it's really as simple as that. You go in, you identify your actions. We have the predefined messaging in place, set up your auto replies or control where you want things to be sent, set up your styling, click submit, add the code to your site, and literally in a few minutes, you now have a way to capture audits on your site. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly cover. So this is what a web report looks like. This is what our application looks like. Then internally, we also have a competitive analysis report. So our application doesn't just do audits. We also do competitive analysis. So as you can see here, our application does a ton of personalization. So the prospect or your customer's picture automatically gets put into this laptop. We have this competitive intelligence report. Again, we have an analysis and a forward because you want to frame and position this effectively before they see it. And then we cover the different areas. This is like a fast food, easy to consume type of report where you can show them areas where they've passed or failed and versus the competition, right? In different areas that matter. We also have, let's see here. We have ROI report. So you can use the ROI web report, or again, if you wanted to share this, in essence, we have a report here that then covers this information. And what we've realized is that oftentimes when we have a call with the prospect and we can show them information like that, their mind now stops focusing on finding a provider, but starts focusing on hey man, wow, can I really add 500,000 or 449,000 to my bottom line? Can this company really provide that? What would things look like in my business, right? So you start taking them to the journey of what success would really look like versus the task of redesigning their website. Okay, and I have this resource guide, how to make more sales easier. I'm utilizing our give method in complete detail. Murtaza, if you wouldn't mind just sharing the PDF link with everyone in the group so that they can download that and understand how best to put our framework in place with website audits. All right, cool. So now that you know this, I just wanted to let you know, simply put, our audit application measures what matters, 40 plus audit points. It does this in minutes, not hours. So literally in 5 to 10 minutes, you can do these. The amazing part about our application is that it does both manual and automated tests. So what I mean by that is that potentially when, give me just a second and I'll show you that. Potentially when you're looking at auditing a site, and I'll just kind of edit hours here so you can see what that looks like. You're not just running a whole bunch of automated tests. You can quickly identify key areas that matter, right? So for example, in this case, hirewiz.com is our agency site. We pull the site into an iframe, right? So you can quickly check. And in this case, we do have all of these things addressed. So they're all checked, right? So I can quickly go in here and say, yep, this site has this site has this. If I want to put a personal note, all I have to do is just click this little button here and I can add a personal note about the fact that maybe this doesn't show in mobile or whatever. We also have an extension, right? So if you want to go right to the website and use our extension, you can use that as well. But again, it enables you to do manual and automated audits, which is tremendously beneficial both in delivering value as well as saving time. We offer 2 types of lead generation widgets you can add to your website. The first one is, would you like to get a website audit? And the other one is, would you like to find out, is it worth doing a website audit, right? I mean, not website audit. Is it worth doing a website redesign, or want to find out what a redesign could add to your bottom line? And we have all the copy and landing pages for that as well. We also support competitive reports. We allow you to personalize almost everything from the audit points you want to see to the messaging to categories you want to hide. And we even have areas where you can build your own audits using our system and reporting. And the best part of all of this is that it's crafted to convert. Everything from the design to the messaging to the audit points are positioned effectively to build trust, add value, and help position your business in the best light and the audit points in a way that your customers and your prospects can understand and value. Okay, so what I wanted to share here is that really your business is like a stool. It has 3 key areas: sales, production, and services, right? Every good stool has 3 legs, and every good web agency needs to have a solid sales process, production, and services. Okay, so there are plenty of tools that help you code, that help you run reports that you need to run, and help you offer customer support and services. But there is one thing that you're probably missing. This is the most important one. There is, all the other stuff doesn't even matter unless you're bringing sales into your agency, right? So stop, like right now, I just want you to stop and don't think of My Web Audit as just another tool to measure performance and report on SEO and analyze those type of things. We've actually built this as a sales tool, right? From the ground up. It's focused around delivering tremendous value. So think about it this way. During meeting number 1, your first interaction with the prospect, you're going to crush them with so much value that at the end of the day, they're not going to be looking at their prospects. Looking at your competition to deliver what they need. You're going to be the person, right? It's going to make your sales process so much easier. This is the leg that you've been missing. right? The other ones are easy, right? There's so many CRMs out there. There's so many different reporting tools out there. This is the hardest part, and this is the problem that we're solving. So here's what you would get with this offer. Ultimately, you're going to get done for you resources. This is landing page copy, email copy, call scripts, you name it, we've got it. Monthly sales gen and sales resources. For those of you who sign up for this, every month we allocate hundreds of dollars and potentially add that as value resources for you to take and implement and apply in your business right away. We're offering a special on premium add-ons where you can save up to $720 a year, depending on the plan you're on. We're offering a sales tactic mini video series that I did with my sales coach, Jonathan Hinshaw. We'll be offering a selling audits workshop that we're working on right now, and you'll have access to our closed mastermind. There's several different bonuses out there. You know, I've been to other webinars and other conferences where people inflate, you know, what things are worth. Most of us, I guess, think our stuff is worth more than it really is. But here, I've really put down the solid numbers that either we've made, charged, or paid for these individual resources. This is what you would get if you signed up with us, and potentially this is what it would cost you if you wanted to go out and get these on your own, right? These are real numbers. Okay, so for example, here's the lead magnet that you can set up in a few minutes with all the landing page copy. If you're in Europe, we support GDPR, right? Here's the ROI lead capture widget with all the landing page copy. Again, this can be set up in a few minutes, and you should be using this in your sales process, right? The list of testimonials and reviews go on forever. You can take a look at it on our site. Here are just a couple that we wanted to share, right? Brandy was able to use this with a group launch that she had done, and you know, she was able to get 200 plus audit signups, and a lot of those she ran through her automated system, right? And she was able to grow a list by 53%. She now uses this solely as the tool she runs for local workshops that she does, where she charges, you know, $299 to get people in for a day, and she brings them in as a group and uses that. Jamie, who's a rock star sales guy, he runs his own agency and also does white label work for other agency partners. And this is a review from a long time ago, but bottom line is when he started using this, he was able to close all 5 leads, right? And we have a ton of different stories and wins that he shared in our group. And all because, you know, he's one of our agency partners. He just goes in, they run the audit, export the PowerPoint, and then they use that on this during the sales presentation, right? And I love that he says that I can't afford not to use this in my business. Another champion friend, peer colleague that utilized the system is Gretchen. She is all about automation. For someone like her to tell us that, you know, this saved her 12 hours in 1 week, what does that really look like, right? For those of y'all that have children, are married, that, you know, just need a little more personal time to hit the gym or do things that they love, what does 12 hours, you know, a week, or 2 hours, 3 hours a week do in savings, right? So if all you did, you know, is sign up and get these results on a monthly basis, it helped you generate 20 plus leads, or helped you close 2 or 3 deals, helped you sign up 1 to 2 care plans, you know, save you 5 to 10 hours a month, right? Would it be worth it? Right? I don't know what a client is worth to you. On average, a client to us is worth anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. But to you, is that worth, you know, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 or more, right? How much would you pay? I would actually say, how much time are you spending right now to get 1 client, right? How much would you pay to be able to just get 1 more client into your business every month or every week, or if you're looking at crazy growth, every day? What would you pay? What would you do? Right? We've paid over $399 for audits that were not even as good. We've now charged upwards of $999 for audits that come out of our application, right? So I wanted to let you know that today, we have a special offer. It's even better than this if you go to our special page right now. So you go to myweboudit.com/special, and you'll be able to see, potentially see the offer that we have. I am actually going to also add it directly into the webinar right now. So give me just a second. All right, so if you take a look at that link that I've shared there, we have potentially an even better deal than what I'm sharing here, okay? So you really have two choices. I appreciate those of y'all who've got on this call, and I hope that you've learned a lot. I didn't want this to be the sales pitch. I wanted to deliver a bunch of value, so hopefully you have things you can apply to your business right away. So you really have two choices, right? You can do nothing and pass up on this offer. It's 100% risk-free. Or you can commit the small investment compared to the value you'll get in return and just give it a shot. If it works, great. If not, we offer no questions, money back guarantee anyways, right? So again, we highly recommend signing up, taking action. Other tools, and there's so many tools and so many opportunities out there, right? Like information and knowledge is not something we're lacking anymore. But bottom line is so many of those things can take weeks, months, or years, if not, to recoup your initial investment and to actually get and apply into your business. But we've built a framework, an application, all the resources around it that you can implement and get started in a day or two, right? With this, you can actually get 10x or 100x return on investment from your very first deal, right? Another testimonial we have here is Catherine, where she just reached out to her existing customer base and offered these audits, right? And she got 2 new redesigns and SEO contract. And again, you can check out these reviews. They're on the sales page, right? So again, our plans start at less than $3 a day. If you sign up for our annual plan, it's much less than that. It's less than $2 a day, right? And again, here's everything you get, right? You get done for you resources. You get the copy for emails, the copy for sales calls, the copy for your landing pages. You get the audit widgets. You get ongoing monthly lead gen and sales resources, whether that's training or done for you, ongoing done for you templates. You get free premium add-ons. We have a sales tactics mini course, selling with audit workshop. You have access to our closed Facebook mastermind group, which is amazing, right? So we had Victor, who just joined us a week ago, and he's amazing at sales and lead gen. And he just created about a 20-minute video walking through his steps and his funnel that he is going to be using, right? And you'd be paying people hundreds or thousands of dollars to try to generate that type of stuff. So, I'd love for everyone here to get in on this amazing deal. This is an introductory offer. We are trying to get as many people in the communities we love and care about to get in on this, right? Definitely take your time, though. I'm not trying to put any pressure, sales, or any of that type of stuff. If you have any questions, reach out. We might be raising our prices in the next few weeks or in the next few months. It all depends on the numbers and the goals that we have to hit for our promotion that we're running. The first thing we'll do when we hit those numbers, though, is to raise our prices, just like you should be doing in your business in order to grow it successfully, right? So, the total value of all of this is $6,617, right? And whether you sign up for the agency plan or you sign up for the pro plan, at the end of the day, you're paying a fraction of all of that, right? The most you'd be paying is $700 or $1,600 if you went to an annual plan, and you could save hundreds more dollars and you get many more bonuses. Or you could run on a monthly plan for $69.99. Okay, so remember, we offer, this is no hassles, no questions, 30-day money-back guarantee, right, on all of our plans. The whole concept here is try it, and you will see that it'll revolutionize your business, okay? So I want to thank you so much for joining us. I know we went slightly over on this call. I'm happy to answer any questions about our offer, questions about strategy. I'll be on here for another 15 minutes to answer any questions, best practices, anything else that you have questions on.